Our country is blessed with rich natural resources, but sadly, we have repeatedly squandered these gifts. We are destroying nature's fragile treasures over time, but there is still a glimmer of hope. In this series, we take a look at various protected areas throughout the archipelago to learn the stories of the land, how it was once neglected and abused, and how it is slowly being renewed. This is Lauren Legarda, and I present Our Fragile Earth, Protected Areas of the Philippines. A people known for its built and intangible heritage, perpetuated by a 2,000-year-old wonder in the Cordilleras, a scenic landscape that stretches up into the heavens, symbolizing the Ifugao's ingenuity, autonomy, and respect for nature. This is the Ifugao Rice Terraces, a stern symbol of the free people of Ifugao. This is the open-air museum in Nagakadan in Kiangan, one of the 5 UNESCO-inscribed sites in the Ifugao Rice Terraces. But actually, the whole province of Ifugao, with its rice terraces, has been called by the FAO as the globally important agricultural heritage sites. So the Ifugao people are truly blessed with nature and culture. Due to their cultural significance, unique charm, and preserved harmony between man and nature, the 5 heritage clusters of the Ifugao Rice Terraces in the villages of Batad, Mayoyaw, Hungduan, Nagakadan, and Bangaan were dubbed as Living Cultural Heritage Site by the UNESCO in 1995.
Ang Ifugao Rice Terraces, ito po ay nasa gitna ng kabuhayan ng Ifugao. So, ang mga rice terraces ay unti-unting ginawa ng aming mga tao dahil ito po ang pinagmumulan ng pagkain nila.
Nakita nila na yung mga engineering works na nagawa ng mga tao batay sa kanilang pag-iisip at sa kakayahan ng mga manggagawa.
We are trying to preserve what is left of our culture by maintaining the agricultural practices that had been practiced by our forefathers before.
Makakapon tun problemi tuddo Ifugao itud Nagakadan te nampiu na ya nakapintas ano buyaon saka makakaphod ang pangpangalan mi makan saka makakaphod ang pangalan mi hiyo puno adar mi himbabalemi saka pangalan mi hidami.
Indigenous farming is woven into their cultural fabric. The lives of the Ifugaos revolve around their precious harvest, the Tinawan rice. Legend has it that Lidum, the god of the sky world, traded a handful of Tinawan grains with a local named Wigan in exchange for fire. Since then, the precious grains have become known as fire rice.
Ginawa ng aming mga ninuno na nanggaling sa angkan ni Bugan at sa Kasiwigan para sa kanilang mga generation.
Ang kultura po ng Ifugao ay umiikot po sa pagtanim at pag-ani ng aming bigas or palay na tinatawag na tinawon.
The production of this indigenous crop is backbreaking. Every step from planting to harvesting is done by hand, and much care is needed to ensure the quality of the grain. All the efforts in producing the tinawon have pushed the Ifugao's native engineering knowledge and creativity beyond their limits by optimizing the benefits of nature. The design of the Ifugao rice terraces has 5 scaled components. The wahael, or the bodies of water that serve as irrigation for the crops. The boble, or the villages where the Ifugao settle. The payo, or the laddered rice fields. The habal, or the swidden fields cleared for root crops, vegetable and legume cultivation. And the muyong, or a private forest, usually owned by the kadangyans, or the nobles of the village.
And you can see it's harvest time. The muyong system, one of their indigenous knowledge, is actually exemplified by their stewardship and the sense of being a custodian of their forests, their agriculture, and their land.
The once meek and humble boble, or indigenous settlement areas, has now become concrete with galvanized iron roofing, losing its true aesthetics. The failure in preserving these indigenous practices is a manifestation of the Ifugao's diminishing culture.
For me, it is very important because if we lose our the Ifugao rice terraces, we are erased in terms of identity. Hindi na kami ang sinasabi na Ifugao. So, our rice terrace, the Ifugao rice terraces, symbolizes the continuous unity and then cooperation of the people of Mayo. So, kung mawawala itong rice terraces namin, parang wala nang direksyon ang buhay ng mga Ifugao. Walang direksyon ang buhay ko.
The Ifugao rice terraces, a marvelous engineering wonder, represents the greatness of our indigenous people. With crucial support from government and cooperation of local leaders, we can still protect what is left of their heritage. More importantly, we must encourage the youth to return to what is natural and unique in their way of life. Our indigenous heritage, knowledge, and practices must flow throughout history and be passed on to the next generation.